Yeah, it's been an extremely positive camp for us. It's for us, it's always about managing numbers and how much work can we get out of each day. And I'm extremely pleased where we are at this point. I think relatively healthy as always. You got those few kids that are banged up that are kind of day to day. Everyone has to this point, but overall it's gone well. We continue to improve each day, and the kids have really showed up in great shape and worked hard.
Preseason's been great so far. I think it's one of the best preseasons we've had so far that I've been here. A lot of guys contributing, even the underclassmen, and I think that's really important to our development as a team.
One of my goals is probably for this team really just to come together as a family and to put aside fraternity life and other things, and really just focus on what's important. That is winning, and I think that starts with how we treat each other and how everyone is just all on the same page.
Well, one of our main goals this season has been focused on team chemistry. We've done a lot of team building exercises during camp, but also in the preseason last winter and spring. So that's one of our main goals. Having strong bonds between each player, upperclassmen and underclassmen, and carrying that out on the field.
As we came into last year, we were really young and inexperienced in our back halves on both sides of the football, on offense and defense. And I see that as our strength and our experience this year. We're still young. We're young in our offensive backfield and sets, and we're young on the secondary side in the back half of our defense. But so much more experience than last year. A year older, a year stronger. It's definitely a strength. Having a returning veteran quarterback who's now got 11 starts under his belt coming into the year. You feel good about that. A quality number 2 trigger man who really has had a great camp and will see action probably in every game. And then defensively, up front defensively, we feel extremely good. With Patrick Wright and an emergence of Rhett Delk down inside, who had a great all season. But we're not real deep up front. We certainly have the better depth in the back half. Well, it's hard to improve on this when you talk about it, but I think our area of concern would certainly be our depth up front on both sides. We're going to need some young guys to improve, some young guys to step up and gain some quick experience. Last year these guys were playing high school football, and we're going to need some guys, that are first-year players to really develop to help us in our depth up front for both sides.
I think the biggest thing we can improve on is finishing the games in the fourth quarter. We've had a lot of games last year that just slipped away at the end. I think the first 3 games we only lost by a few points each game. So I think just finishing out, kind of just when they're down, keep them down and don't let them get back into the game.
The bad thing about experiencing some of the things we experienced last year are going to be some of our strength. We went through some tough trials and tribulations with putting so many young kids on the football field. At any given moment, there were 4 or 5 first years running around on both sides of the football. And so, guys you'll hear more of, and these are names that people heard last year. Walker Brand, had a good first year for us, but, we expect Walker to be a little more featured in the offense. Guys like Duncan Maxwell. Certainly people heard his name last year, but a year older. McKenna Johnston. I think the young man that could really have a breakout year, though, when we talk about this kid by the name of Evan Hinkle, who I think people saw him emerging at the end of the year. He's kind of been hobbled by some injuries to his career, and if Evan can stay healthy, I really believe he's as good a running back as there is in our conference. First one jumps out at me is a kid by the name of Rhett Delk. Rhett had a phenomenal offseason. He came in as a linebacker. We've moved him down, put his hand on the ground. He's fast, he's explosive. He's one of the strongest kids in our program. Another kid, a kid by the name of Jimmy Moynihan, who's a senior, who really started for us on offense as a sophomore. We've moved him to defense as a junior. We think we've now found a great role for him. being an edge type player for us, and he had a great first scrimmage for us, and I think people will hear his name more often. There's a couple groups. You're excited about your young guys always, but a guy by the name of Josh Malm who spent, we're coming in. We had a lot of expectations and dealt with a pulled hamstring as a first year, which is tough, and has had a great camp for us at wide receiver. And him and Whit Hawkins, we think are really give us a really good 1-2 punch at wide out that we're excited about. They're big, they're physical. They have great hands. We know, and everyone knows, we're not going to be this explosive, throwing it for 300 yards a game team. But what we do want to get to the point where people want to go one-on-one with us out there, we're going to take advantage of it. And I think those two give us the ability to do that.
I think Wright Delk, he used to play linebacker. Now we switched him to defensive end. He looks great in the offseason. He's probably the strongest kid on the team. And so as he continues to learn this new position, he's going to be great. I think in the secondary, Michael Shields, who got to play some as a freshman last year, but now he's going to start, and I think we'll really have a great opportunity to make some plays and make a difference on defense.